This story revolves around a mysterious sea treasure that is cursed. Some greedy pirates manage to steal it, but the curse turns them into living corpses. They will beg for death, but won't find it. What is it about this curse that lures people in despite its horrifying consequences? The story begins with a grand ship sailing across the ocean. On board, a young girl sings a pirate song. Suddenly, a man interrupts her, warning her to stop singing because if pirates hear it, they will attack the ship. Shortly after, Lieutenant Norrington arrives and dismisses the man. From Norrington's words, it becomes clear that he harbors a deep hatred for pirates. Soon after, the girl, Elizabeth, spots a boy floating in the water. She alerts the crew, and they rescue him, bringing him on board. As they look out to sea, they notice another ship burning in the distance. Meanwhile, Elizabeth touches the boy and, to her surprise, he regains consciousness for a moment. He tells her his name is Will Turner before fainting again. Elizabeth notices a pirate medallion around his neck and realizes he must be connected to pirates. However, she keeps this discovery a secret and takes the medallion for herself. The story jumps to the present, where Elizabeth is now grown up. She still has Will's medallion and wears it around her neck. Her father, the governor of Port Royal, brings her a gift, a beautiful dress. Elsewhere, Will, now a blacksmith, is seen crafting a sword for the governor. Will has no memory of his past. When he arrives at the governor's house, Elizabeth, wearing her new dress, comes down to greet him. She is thrilled to see him, but the governor disapproves of his daughter speaking to a mere blacksmith. Meanwhile, Captain Jack Sparrow arrives at Port Royal, intending to steal a ship. While plotting his theft, he is stopped by some soldiers. Jack boldly admits that he plans to steal a ship, but no one believes him. At the same time, Elizabeth is talking to Norrington, who is trying to propose marriage to her. However, Elizabeth is struggling to breathe due to her tight dress and faints, falling into the water below. Jack Sparrow sees Elizabeth fall and immediately dives in to save her. As soon as she hits the water, her medallion emits a strange vibration. Jack rescues her and brings her back to safety. He notices the pirate medallion around her neck and questions how she got it. Before she can respond, soldiers arrive. Norrington, already suspicious of Jack, notices a mark on his hand that identifies him as a pirate. To escape, Jack takes Elizabeth hostage, but quickly lets her go and makes a run for it. Norrington orders his soldiers to catch Jack. Jack evades capture by hiding in Will's blacksmith shop. The two engage in a sword fight, but before it can reach a conclusion, Will's drunken assistant hits Jack over the head with a bottle, knocking him unconscious. Jack is arrested and thrown into prison. That night, Port Royal is attacked by pirates. The pirates kill many of the townspeople, revealing their intent to retrieve the medallion that Elizabeth possesses. To steal the cursed treasure, some pirates break into Elizabeth's house. Trying to escape, Elizabeth runs to her room, but the pirates break down her door and corner her. She hides in a wardrobe in another room, but they find her again. Desperate, Elizabeth declares that she wants to negotiate with their captain, invoking the pirate code that forbids harming someone before negotiations. The pirates agree and take her aboard their ship. Will sees Elizabeth being taken away, but is helpless to stop them. Meanwhile, in the prison, the pirates recognize Jack Sparrow. When one of the pirates grabs Jack by the throat, his hand turns into a skeleton under the light, revealing that they are cursed. The curse keeps them alive, but in a state where they cannot die. On board the Black Pearl, Elizabeth meets the ship's captain, Barbassa. She tries to negotiate with him. saying she wants the fighting between pirates and Port Royal to stop. Barbassa ignores her demands until Elizabeth threatens to throw the medallion into the sea. Seeing the medallion, the pirates panic. Barbassa asks her name, and Elizabeth lies, saying her name is Elizabeth Turner. Hearing this, Barbassa agrees to strike a deal. If she gives them the medallion, they will leave Port Royal. Elizabeth hands it over, but the pirates take her captive anyway. Back in Port Royal, Will pleads with Norrington to help rescue Elizabeth and find the Black Pearl, but Norrington dismisses him, saying he's just a blacksmith. Frustrated, Will turns to Jack Sparrow in the prison and offers him a deal. Will promises to free Jack if he helps him find the Black Pearl and rescue Elizabeth. Jack agrees. After escaping the prison, Jack and Will plan to steal the HMS Interceptor. To distract the crew of the Interceptor, they pretend to loot another ship. Norrington and his soldiers rush to the decoy ship, leaving the Interceptor unguarded. Jack and Will take the opportunity to commandeer the Interceptor and sail away, leaving Norrington furious. On board the Interceptor, Jack reveals to Will that his father was a pirate known as Bootstrap Bill Turner. Will initially refuses to believe him, but Jack convinces him. Since Will never met his father, he reluctantly accepts the truth. Jack and Will sail to Tortuga, a pirate haven where Jack reunites with his old friend Gibbs. Jack convinces Gibbs to join their mission to rescue Elizabeth and retrieve the Black Pearl. At first, Gibbs is hesitant, but when Jack mentions that Will is Bootstrap Bill's son, Gibbs agrees to help. Together, they recruit a small crew. Meanwhile, aboard the Black Pearl, Elizabeth demands her release, arguing that the pirates have her medallion. Barbassa explains the truth about the medallion. It is one of 882 cursed Aztec gold coins. Years ago, Hernan Cortés gave these coins to the Aztec people as an offering, but his greed led to the gods cursing the gold. Anyone who takes the coins is cursed to live forever as the undead, unable to die but also unable to truly live. Barbassa and his crew had stolen the gold and spent it all, which left them cursed. To lift the curse, they must return all the coins and offer their blood as penance. However, one crucial crew member tied to the curse is missing, and without him, they cannot complete the ritual to break it. Bootstrap Bill's blood had not yet been used because he was lost at sea. Barbassa assumes that Elizabeth is Bootstrap's daughter and plans to use her blood to lift the curse. However, Elizabeth attacks Barbassa and escapes, but when she sees the undead crew members surrounding her, she is terrified and realizes Barbassa was telling the truth. Meanwhile, Gibbs gathers a crew for Jack Sparrow, and they set sail in pursuit of the Black Pearl. Barbassa, with Elizabeth and his crew, reaches an island with a cave where the cursed treasure is hidden. Shortly after, Jack Sparrow and Will also arrive at the island. Gibbs reveals to Will that Jack was once the captain of the Black Pearl. He trusted his crew and told them about the treasure, but Barbassa betrayed him, marooning Jack on a deserted island and taking the gold. Jack managed to escape the island and has since carried a single bullet in his pistol, intending to use it to kill Barbassa. Jack and Will enter the cave and find Elizabeth with the cursed pirates. Barbassa opens the chest of Aztec gold and takes one of the coins. He cuts Elizabeth's hand and smears her blood on the coin before placing it back in the chest. However, the curse remains unbroken. Realizing Elizabeth is not the bloodline they need, Barbassa grows furious and slaps her to the ground. At this moment, Will sneaks in and rescues Elizabeth. Barbassa notices her absence and orders his crew to search for her. Instead of finding Elizabeth, they capture Jack Sparrow. Jack, using his wit, demands to speak with Barbossa, citing pirate code. The crew refrains from killing him, as it would violate their rules. Meanwhile, Will takes Elizabeth back to the Interceptor. Following the pirate code, they leave without attempting to save Jack. Back in the cave, Jack tells Barbossa he knows the location of Bootstrap Bill's son. Hearing this, Barbossa spares Jack's life. Soon after, Barbossa and his cursed crew set out to chase the Interceptor, and a naval battle ensues. Both sides fire cannons at each other, causing chaos. During the fight, Elizabeth notices her medallion is missing. Will goes below deck to search for it, but finds the ship filling with water. Meanwhile, the cursed pirates board the Interceptor, and some of them plant explosives in its hold. Jack Sparrow swings onto the Interceptor using a rope, while below deck, Will sees a monkey take the medallion. As Will tries to recover it, Elizabeth sees him drowning in the flooded ship. However, before she can help him, the cursed pirates capture her. Jack tries to catch the monkey, but it delivers the medallion to Barbossa. The explosives on the Interceptor detonate, causing a massive explosion. Fortunately, Will escapes the ship just in time. Determined to save everyone, Will confronts Barbossa and threatens him by holding a pistol to his own head, ready to sacrifice himself. Barbossa tricks Will and takes him captive, while leaving Elizabeth and Jack Sparrow stranded on the same deserted island where Jack had been abandoned before. However, the next day, Norrington and his crew rescue them. Elizabeth pleads with Norrington to save Will from the cursed pirates, but Norrington and her father initially refuse. To convince him, Elizabeth promises to marry Norrington if he agrees to rescue Will. Norrington finally agrees and asks Jack Sparrow for the route to the island. Upon reaching the island, Jack advises Norrington and his men to stay back while he takes a small boat into the cave alone. Inside the cave, Barbossa is about to kill Will when Jack interrupts, stopping him. Jack cleverly tells Barbossa that if he kills Will now, the curse will lift, and the Navy soldiers waiting outside will kill all of them as soon as they step outside. Jack suggests they should first defeat the soldiers and then claim victory as captains of 2 ships. Barbossa agrees and sends his cursed crew to attack the Navy. The cursed pirates secretly board the Navy's ship and start attacking, killing the crew one by one. Meanwhile, inside the cave, Jack and Will engage in a fight with Barbossa and his pirates. During the fight, Barbossa stabs Jack with a sword, but when Jack steps into the moonlight, it's revealed that he has also become undead by stealing one of the cursed coins. This shocks Barbossa. On the Black Pearl, Elizabeth frees Jack's crew, but none of them agree to help rescue Will and Jack. However, Norrington and his soldiers arrive to support the fight. Back in the cave, Jack, seizing an opportunity, smears his blood on the cursed coin he took and tosses it to Will. At the same time, Jack uses his single pistol shot to shoot Barbossa. Barbossa mocks Jack, thinking the shot was wasted, but Will quickly smears his own blood on the cursed coin and drops it into the chest, breaking the curse. Barbossa becomes mortal again, and Jack's shot proves fatal, killing him. Outside, the now mortal pirates surrender to the Navy to save their lives. The scene shifts to Port Royal, where Jack Sparrow is about to be hanged in front of a crowd. Will interrupts the execution, publicly confessing his love for Elizabeth. He then fights the soldiers to rescue Jack, cutting him free from the gallows. The two try to escape together, but are soon surrounded by Norrington's men. Just when it seems like all hope is lost, Elizabeth intervenes, convincing her father and Norrington to spare them. Her plea works, and Jack is granted another chance. Jack notices a parrot nearby, signaling that his crew is close. He dives into the ocean and swims to the Black Pearl, which has come to rescue him. Meanwhile, Elizabeth's father agrees to let her marry Will. The movie ends with Jack reclaiming his role as captain of the Black Pearl and sailing away into the horizon. The story concludes here, but if you'd like to know what happens next, don't forget to comment next. Thank you for watching.